Uh, Shout out to all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. I seen that a lot of new subscribers came yesterday after me making that Stephen Fulton Naoya Inoue video. All right, I've been getting a lot of comments on that. I can't wait to make more content on that fight. Everybody seems to be really excited about the fight. I know I am. So today we're going to talk about two specific things. We're just going to brush over Josh Taylor real quick and his injury, and he's going to be out. Actually, I was supposed to talk about it yesterday when I did the wave report, but totally forgot. I forgot to add that topic to my list, but I did see it as it was announced yesterday. What's up, Charles Edward Cheese? Thank you, brother Charles Edward Cheese. Thank you for the super chat. Says happy Sunday. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And all of the help you've given me over the last few years, man. That's my guy right there, Charles Edward Cheese. Appreciate it, yo. Um, yo, shout out to Punch Quote. You know, he actually left a comment here, basically saying some of the similar things that I was gonna say today in this video. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. About what about Roy Jones Jr. and Chris Eubank Jr. I'll get to that. All right. But shout out to my man Charles again. Thank you for the donation, man. So we're gonna speak on Josh Taylor a little bit, and then we're gonna go right into Chris Eubank Jr. today. All right, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. But yeah, check out the wave report. I added the shoot. I sometimes I make these long videos and I forget to add the timestamps. So I apologize. I just added it this morning. You know, I just make the video and I be on a run sometimes. So um just make sure you guys go back and check out the wave report number 8 I did yesterday, because I covered like 20 different topics yesterday. All right. Shout out to my man D Style Boxing. What's good with you, bro? How's everything with you, man? Missed you the other day on the Ringside Reporter, man. But had fun over there with you guys. Yeah. So what's up, Orgasmatron? What's up, Ralph? What's good? Transform love and transform with love and respect. I like that name. That was pretty dope. He says, good afternoon, good one, Herman. Liam Smith would love to hear that. Oh, Herman says, shout out to Herman. He says Liam Smith is a GOAT. He knocked Canelo out cold in a rematch. That's pretty funny. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I got you, D Style. I got you. Yeah, it happens. But yeah, it was a good panel the other night. It was pretty good. So and yeah, shout out. Make sure you guys subscribe to D Style Boxing for sure. And the Ringside Reporter as well. And check out the panel we had the other night, where he was just speaking on this fight here with Chris Eubank Jr. and Adrian Broner and Tank Davis. We touched on a number of topics the other night. All right, so let's get right into it, man, because I'm not gonna be on too long today, but I do want to cover a few topics, and I do want to go back because I did a really quick audio recap, which is I rarely do audio videos, but you know I had to because I wasn't home and I saw the KO Chris Eubank Jr. and I had to jump on and do something, throw something out there real quick. But I definitely wanted to speak on it a little more today because I did go back and watch the fight on my television, and you know I did listen to all the post fight interviews between both parties and stuff like that. I listened to Liam Smith, Roy Jones Jr., Chris Eubank Jr., you know, and we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about Josh Taylor first, all right? Because I missed this yesterday when I went and did the wave report. And Josh Taylor is injured. Well, not again, but this fight is being postponed again. What's up, Steven? Um, Josh Taylor has suffered a tear in his foot, the arch of his foot. And the fight is going to get postponed. The fight was in March, and they're going to postpone it from, I think they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. And I can't help, and I'm being honest, and I have to be honest. I don't care about this fight anymore. I just lost interest in Josh Taylor. I hate to say that, um, but this year, it's been a year since the fight. The first fight. Neither one of them fought. And in boxing, when you're like a pound for pound fighter and you just kind of sitting out and there's nothing going on with you. And the last time we saw you, you fought poor. And then, you go out in publicly say to the media like you thought you clearly won the fight by a certain amount of rounds. And it's like that's what we remember of you. Like, because it's not like Josh Taylor's out here doing a whole bunch of other things. Like, if you don't see him in the ring, we really don't see him much, right? And just look at 135, look at 140, look at 147. There's a lot going on in those divisions, right? And people tend to forget about you. You're not undisputed anymore. You're holding on to one title, at this point. And I give him respect for taking a rematch. But why has it taken so long to get this going? Because there wasn't going to be a rematch initially, right? And then he got stripped of all these titles. So, yes, he did have to make a sacrifice in order to make this rematch. Once he decided he wanted the rematch, he had to make a sacrifice because he had mandatory obligations and stuff like that he just wasn't going to do, which is fine. He was undisputed. He defended his titles. So it's cool, but it's just too long. The first fight was in February of last year. And now, it was supposed to be in January, or at least we thought last year was going to be in January. And then now it's in March. And then now it's in, I don't know, April, May. It's like, yo, there's other stuff happening. People is going up to 140. People is going up to 147. People that you beaten has come around and picked up some big wins. What's going on? And injuries happen, but the timing of the injury is poor because it's not like this injury happened when the rematch was supposed to be 6 months later. The injury happened after a year has passed. We're just, let me not speak for we. I'm going to speak for me. It's hard for me to care anymore. Like when it happens, I guess the week of, maybe we'll get excited for it, or maybe I'll get excited for it. But I personally just kind of forgot about it. It's just there's so many other things that's happened in the division since you became undisputed and had this fight with Jack Catterall. And it's like, it was not like it was your biggest fight. It was plenty of fights that Josh Taylor had. If you follow his career, I remember the hype of the Victor Postal fight, or even before that. What's the other guy's name? His first test against the British fighters, the black British fighter that he fought. Um, all right. Okay. So let me go back. O'Hara Davis. There was a lot of hype for that fight, right? There was a lot of hype for that fight, a lot of tension, a lot of back and forth leading up to the fight, right? There was a lot of hype behind that. And then you had Victor Postal, which was a bigger test, right? There was a lot of hype for that fight. All right. You fought Ryan Martin. Okay. Not a big deal. Ivan Baranchek. This is when the tournament was going down. You know, this was a big fight. Ivan Baranchik was undefeated, looked very strong, at that time. And then you have Regis Prograde, which was, in my opinion, a super fight. Like a diehard boxing fan, hardcore fans love this fight, right? And then, you went on and fought Jose Ramirez, who was undefeated. He was unified too. Big, big undisputed fight, right? And then we got Jack Catterall, which was your mandatory. And if anybody's seen Jack fight before, we knew that it wasn't going to be an easy fight, but we didn't know that Jack was going to end up knocking you down in my opinion, outboxing you. I think Jack won the fight. I think he won the fight 7 rounds to 5, and that's not even including the knockdown. I think Jack got 7 rounds. Now, some people, some people out there did edge it for Josh, but many feel like Josh lost the fight. And he caught a lot of backlash for it. And it's not his fault because he's not in control of what the judges say. Now, what people did get upset about was I guess his comments after the fight, you know. But that's what fighters do, Sometimes fighters like to double down on the win that they got, I think he got a gift, and I think many fighters get gifts, especially championship level fighters with names and guys that accomplished a lot. I get it. Some of these fighters most of them, almost all of them get gifts. All the greats got gifts. You know what I'm saying? Multiple gifts sometimes. So it's cool. But it's been a year, like a year, and we still didn't get a fight. And now there's an injury. It's like, bro, I'm over it. I'm over it. It's like he's kind of lost the buzz, and boxing moves on. And you're in a division where there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of traffic at 135, 140, and 147. So people want fights. And there are new people in the division. And are you even looking to stay? Like, what's the plan from here? Especially now that this fight is getting postponed. What does Jack Catterall do? Does he just wait the extra 6 weeks, or are they going to have some kind of WBO interim? Because it's only for the WBO title. Is there going to be some kind of interim fight? I looked at the rankings. It looks like Teofimo Lopez is like the international WBO champ. So he's at the top of the charts. So what does Jack do? Does he just wait for his opportunity? I'm thinking he's probably just going to wait. But, the last time we seen like a lot of postponements, and I know this fight was many, many more postponements and stuff like that. But the last time we seen it was with Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. And we saw how that fight played out, And I think Josh is still the favorite to win this rematch, but I'm not so sure. I think the more time that passes, I think it kind of hurts Josh, especially now he's coming off of a foot injury. Josh, who is a pretty good mover. Now he's going into the fight where a lot of people think you lost the fight. That gotta hurt you a little bit, or it can build you up. It could push you to want to fight better, right? It could, but it could hurt you as well. It can make you lack confidence, especially when you get knocked down. You get knocked down by a guy that many people didn't believe you would beat you. Again, I've seen Jack fight. I knew he was going to be a troubling fight. I knew he was going to give Josh some trouble, but I thought Josh was going to find a way to pull it off. He always does, even when he's in tough. He was in tough a little bit against Ramirez. He was in tough against Prograis. He was in tough with Postal. He had fights where he was down early, and he had to make some sort of adjustment to come back and win. And I thought that's what we was going to get in the Catterall fight. And I mean, he did come back, but it didn't seem like he came back from an adjustment. It seemed like Josh started to just, Jack started to fade, and Josh was outworking him in the later rounds, so Josh was able to pick up some rounds towards the end because Jack just was burned out, but I've lost interest in the fight. I can't lie, and I'm hoping Josh wins the fight. I'm hoping he eventually moves up to 147. If not, I hope that we can get some of these big fights at 140, and there's Teofimo Lopez there now. I would love to see a Regis Prograis rematch. I think a lot of people have gotten comments, and I've read tweets and stuff a lot of people are leaning if there is ever a rematch. I've seen a lot of comments where a lot of people are confident Regis Prograde would win the rematch, and that's based off their recent performances. That's how boxing fans remember you based off your last performance. And Regis Prograde has looked great. He just looked phenomenal, and no, he didn't beat Josh Taylor, but these fights that he's taken, especially Zepeda, look great. And when we see Josh Taylor struggle and get knocked down by Jack Catterall, people are confident that Regis Prograde is going to win the rematch if they were to ever fight again. But it doesn't really get any easier for Josh because he probably can't. He's probably struggling to make 140. And even if he goes to 147, who do you fight? I don't think he beats Virgil Ortiz. I don't think he beats Jerron Boots Ennis. You know, I don't think he. I mean, I think he has a shot against Stanionis, but I'm honestly I'm leaning a little towards Stanionis. I'm leaning towards him a little bit. Like, where do you go at 147? It doesn't get any easier for there. And I'm not even mentioning Spence or Bud Crawford. You know, I'm not even mentioning those two because I never thought Josh would beat those guys. And even as an undisputed champ at 140, never thought he would do it. So Josh doesn't really have it easy from here. And I don't think the Catterall rematch is going to be any easier, especially now he's coming off of a foot injury. You know, some people are even questioning if this injury is real. Some people are just thinking that he's postponing more time because he's not confident he's going to win. I mean, that's how boxing fans think, period. Now, I'm not going to say I agree with that, but this is how people look at you now off of one bad fight, off of one bad fight. People's lost all faith in Josh Taylor. And I haven't lost all faith in him. It's just that I've lost interest in the fight because of the amount of time that's passed without us getting this rematch. That's my thoughts. All right. So anyway, let's move on into the real topic at hand today. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the fight yesterday between Chris Eubank and Liam Smith. Um, man, boxing really, really needs upsets. You need a good upset every now and then to keep this ball rolling. These are the moments in boxing that we really love. I was rooting for Chris Eubank. You guys saw the breakdown. I thought Eubank was going to win a decision win. All right. I didn't think he was going to stop Liam. And I thought he would struggle a little bit, mainly because of the overhand right. I thought Liam Williams caught Eubank a good enough for times, good amount of times in that fight. Um, you could counter him over his jab, and the key thing, and my guy Punch Cole said it before I even went live this morning. He says, anyone notice his stance was similar to Roy Jones Jr. of old, knee reflexes for that. AJ made right decision to go with James. All right. I was wrong on a pick, but I wasn't wrong on a breakdown. And this is an issue that I've had with Eubank, specifically in his last fight against Liam Williams, the other Liam. That style of fighting similar to Roy, you have to be extremely athletic. You got to have the reflexes to go with it. And Chris just doesn't seem to have the timing, the speed, the reflexes to pull it off. One thing that I said is that in the Liam Williams fight, he was very successful because of his jab. But if you take away Chris's jab in the fight, he was off the mark with most of his power shots. He missed the majority of them based on what I was seeing. I'm not talking about punch stats or anything like that. His jabs were the thing that scored the knockdowns, not his power shots. Those lead left hooks that he was drawing, he was off the mark. So the right hands, the power shots, he wasn't off the mark. And then we didn't get enough body shots for him. Right? Not enough hooks to the body for me. And New York for Life says he was just doing the rope a dope and failed miserably. Yeah, pretty much. He was in the corner. He was very comfortable in the fight. And New York says, I'm still not sure which punch hurt Eubank. There was two. The right hand, right? Because there was a flurry. The right hand, when Chris leaned back, I think his left hand was too low. And when he lead, he got caught with the right hand. If you notice, if you watch it in slow-mo, because I was just watching it before I went live. At that point, that's when he put his gloves up. And then Liam hit him with a monster uppercut that caught him clean. And that was the punch that hurt him and put him down. The right hand started it because you can tell Chris looked so comfortable in that corner. So he's going, he's bending and leaning back. And when he leaned back, Liam caught him with a right hand. And Chris, I know he's with Roy, but this is my problem with Chris leading up to this fight. It hasn't been proven that style works. I said in the breakdown, he needs to find a way to make a hybrid version of himself, his old version and his new version. Him simply fighting like Roy Jones is not going to be enough. Because in the Williams fight, when he started to slow down, in my opinion, Williams won almost all the rounds where Chris Eubank didn't score a knockdown because he was getting outworked, especially after the 6th round. Williams won the majority of the rounds. He kept connected with right hands. Chris just didn't have the reflexes to get out of the way. So Chris, he's fighting like a slick fighter, but he's not really that slick. If you guys get what I'm saying. He's just not good at rolling the punches. He's just not that good at it. And he got caught. And the shocker to me isn't Liam Williams winning the fight. The shocker to me is him knocking out Chris Eubank Jr. Because Chris, one thing that we all were wrong about is Chris being this, durable fighter, which he probably is. I mean, listen, he got caught with a good shot. You know what I'm saying? He got caught with a good shot. It is what it is. It happens. But, Chris and Roy's style, it doesn't work when he's fully fighting like Roy. What I'm saying is, it's like AJ. AJ's gone to these different trainers, right? Yes, you can learn and borrow some certain tactics and stuff, but you fighting completely like Roy is not enough. I wasn't convinced in that Liam Williams fight because the Liam Williams is, if let's be honest, Liam Williams is arguably the best win on his resume. Him and the fading James DeGale. Remember, when Chris Eubank got to James had already had loss to Truax. All right. He lost to Truax, and then he went life and death with Truax in a rematch. DeGale was past his prime at this point. So there was still a lot of questions about Eubank Jr. He just, in the fights where he really stepped up, he has disappointed for the most part. Williams is good, solid, but even in that fight, I know he won the fight, but you got to look at everything. You can't just look at how the fight ended. Yes, he picked up the win. Yes, he dropped him like 3 or 4 times. Cool. But let's look at all the other punches that were landed outside the jab. Outside, if you take away the punches that landed with the jab, he wasn't that effective. I thought Liam Williams was more effective. So going into the Smith fight, I thought he would win because Smith and his style, you stay out of the way of the right hand. Smith is is a high guard fighter, come forward, straightforward. He's standing right in front of you. And a guy with a jab and a movement of Chris Eubank, I thought Chris was going to control him. I mean, if you look at the first 3 rounds, I thought the first 3 rounds was exactly how I expected the fight to go. Chris moving, using a jab. I think you can give Smith the first round. I thought Smith came out very aggressive, more aggressive. I think Smith normally is more aggressive in the later half of the fight once you slow down a bit. That's when he likes to really shine. If you look at the Magomed fight, if you look at the Jesse Vargas fight, if you look at, he gave Munguia a lot of trouble at 154 too. Smith has always been tough and durable. Canelo only stopped him. I thought Eubank was going to do a good job moving, keeping him out range, because Liam Smith has never been a long range guy. He's never been that. And Chris' game plan was good, but he got too comfortable. And him going into the corner like that and staying there, it's not like he was trapped. He was so comfortable that he didn't give Liam the respect he deserved, and he caught one. It's that simple. It's that simple. And he went night-night. To be honest, I think the fight should have been stopped after the first knockdown. Because Chris got back up quickly, and I don't think he knew what was going on. I don't think he knew what was going on. I think if the fight was stopped, we've seen fights get stopped for a lot less. When he got up, he was still unsteady, and he was a target at that point. It was only a matter of time. I wasn't live, but as I was watching the fight on my phone, I'm screaming at my phone. I'm like, no, he's done. He's done. If they let this fight continue, he's done. And they did, and he got stopped right away. He was out on his feet. Let me just go up and read a few comments. Transport says Taylor has been out of shape for some time and recently started training, hence the injury. Yeah. He's been out. They both been out because they both haven't fought. All right. Jamin says such a disappointment from Chris Eubanks. Props to Liam. Yeah, props. You know what? And you know what? Good sportsmanship from both. Seriously, because you see the press conference and the comments that were said, and I was like, not for nothing, but it looked like Liam was very, very like focused on this fight. I think it's only made Liam more willing to give a good fight. I think it pushed him even further because Liam came out very aggressive, and it seems like he really, really wanted to knock Chris Eubank out. He fought like he did, and great sportsmanship from both. Great win for Liam Smith. And we talk about size a lot. We talk about weight a lot. And Liam Smith, I don't know what he does from here. I don't know if they're going to have this rematch. We'll definitely talk about that in this live. But one thing I'll say about Liam Smith is stay at 160. Unless there's some kind of big money fight that's at 154 that's waiting for you, stay at 160. Because you're mid-30s now. You're probably killing yourself to fight at 154. You've been there your whole career. I know he was trying to get some sort of catch weight before this fight. Bro, just stay at 160. Stay at 160. You're clearly stronger there. Stay at 160. A.M. Wilson says, thank you so much for doing the show today. Thank you for joining, man. Of course, I had to. I had to speak on this a little bit further. From what we got yesterday. I just made a quick recap, but I wanted to speak on it for it. I wanted to watch it again, Boxing Pound for Pound says, shout out, Way. Shout out to you for joining us. Rotor says, great content, Way. Thank you. Word Day says, I have never seen Eubank as an elite fighter. He was durable and a good fighter. He does not have that technique, and I believe he started boxing late. Yeah, yeah. Um, he was very stiff early. I think Roy and getting with Roy, I think he's definitely loosened up a little bit. I think he did help Chris. All right, but I'm not sure where his strengths are. What I will say is that Chris has a very good jab. He does have a very good jab. I'll give him that. But I'm still unsure of whether or not he was better then or better now. I'm not sure. Because he lost to Saunders, but it was a split decision loss, and he won the whole second half of that fight by being a bully. Now the Groves fight is different, but Groves came in 20 pounds, 20 pounds heavier than Chris Eubank. So there was a huge size advantage for Groves there, but Groves was a slicker. Groves is a better boxer. Let's just be real. New York for Life says Eubank in the past just try to coast through using his speed and athleticism. Even Roy Jones style even Roy Jones style stopped working for Roy Jones after a while. Yeah, because Roy got older, and not only did he get older, but the going up to heavyweight and coming back down to 175 was just a bad idea. Roy Jones was supposed to close the show after that heavyweight performance, against the Quiet Man. Excuse me. He was supposed to close the show. He was supposed to end it there. You know. Um Word of the day says amateur pedigree was lacking. Yeah, absolutely. Lee says Eubank Jr. is not a good boxer. I think he's a good boxer. I just don't think he's a great boxer. All right. And I wasn't expecting him to beat the elite of 160. I wasn't expecting him to, but it didn't mean that I didn't want the fight. I still wanted the fight. I wanted the Munguia fight. I wanted the Triple G fight. I wanted the Jamal Charlo fight. I even wanted the Demetrius Andre fight when Andre was at 160. Damien says, I think Roy's training doesn't work well for Eubank. His style was better before. Yeah. And that's the argument that we've gone back and forth today with. I think you can make a strong argument that his old style was better. You can make a strong argument that his old style was better. All right. New York for Life asked me, and I wanted to speak on this. How do you feel about Conor Benn's comment saying he would have stopped him quick also? Well, you know what? Conor Benn is a bigger loser. I know Chris Eubank got knocked out, but Conor Benn is the bigger loser here. Because that was supposed to be Conor Benn. Because I do think Conor Benn is more talented than Liam Smith. I think the Liam Smith had the advantage for him was his size and his experience. But I think Conor Benn has the higher ceiling between the two. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. But Conor Benn screwed his own situation up, man. So I'm not going to give Conor Benn credit as if he scored a knockout. He didn't knock out Chris Eubank Jr. Liam Smith did. He didn't knock him out. Now, I know Eddie and all of those guys over there are looking to clean up this whole situation. I mean, that's what all the time that's passed. They're looking to clean up these tests and do what they have to do to give Conor Benn a pass for failing those tests. All right. And maybe he is innocent. We'll find out. But there's nobody to blame here. There's nobody else to blame. It's definitely not Chris Eubank for. I mean, Chris Eubank agreed to your terms. This guy was going to come down and be even weaker. He was actually going to, he agreed to a catch weight at a weight he hasn't fought as a professional. So he was going to fight a drained version of him. So there is a chance that Conor Benn might have knocked him out too. But, I'm not giving Conor Benn no credit. You didn't beat him. You didn't stop him. I mean, even Chris had, and that's the thing with Chris. Let me go back to Chris, really. I don't want to spend too much time on Conor Benn because I seen his posts and it's like, yo, bro, If Liam Smith is not talking trash about Chris Eubank Jr., you shouldn't be. That's my logic. Why are you talking trash? You wasn't in the ring. You fumbled the bag. You fumbled the legacy fight. You are the sons of two great talents historically, two of the all-time great British fighters. You guys didn't get it in. You didn't get it on. Like, you blew the opportunity. And if Liam is not talking trash with all the words that were exchanged between the two, why are you? Why are you? Why are you talking? Yusef, thank you, bro. Thank you. $20 donation. He says, it's kind of crazy to think Chris has yet to become a world champion. Do you think the weight cut might have affected his punch resistance? Maybe he needs, man. I can't go with it. I think he does need to go to 168. I think he got caught with a good shot. I honestly do. I don't think many of us expected Liam to be that explosive, bro. I think he just got caught, bro. I can't even blame it on the weight. He got caught with two really, really good shots. And I know he's durable, and maybe he should fight at 168. I'm not saying it has nothing to do with it, but he got caught with a good shot. And that's all it is. He was comfortable. He was in that corner. He's not slick enough. Somebody said it earlier, his old style was better. Well, his old style needed work too. You know why? Because I said this about AJ yesterday in the Wave Report. I said this about AJ when I was talking about him and what's this guy's name? Philip Hergovic in his comment about AJ was a beast until he started to box too much. AJ needed to work on something. AJ wasn't going to just continue winning by just being a beast. He needed to box some. But AJ's not going to win just by being a boxer neither. He needs to be a beast sometimes. You get what I'm saying? It really depends on the style. It really depends on the opponent. All right. Sometimes you got to adjust mid-fight. You know, you box, then you become regressive. Certain fights, certain times in between the fights. And I think Chris Eubank Jr., like I said before, he needs to find, because to be honest, if Eubank had fought Liam Smith the way he used to fight, I would have been picking him to stop Liam Smith. All right. When he was front foot heavy and wasn't fighting, moving laterally around the ring, just trying to maintain the distance. No, bro. You are a bully. Even with your size disadvantage against George Groves, you were a bully against Groves, against Liam Smith, against James DeGale. You wasn't doing all this slick stuff, sitting in the corner, sitting up. Like, what are you doing? He underestimated Liam Smith. And you know what? Some of the things he said before the fight, it might have been, to sell the fight or to get into Liam's head, him and this whole 50% thing, him, wearing the KFC jacket and all that stuff. Maybe it's to sell the fight. I get it. Chris is great at doing that, but at the end of the day, Chris, in the ring that night, he got too comfortable. And Liam is not known to be this destructive power puncher. He's not. He's not that. He doesn't have that reputation. He'll stop you, but he's not known to be a destructive puncher at that level. This is probably his greatest win. Let me see. Let's go to Liam Smith's resume real quick. I just pulled it up. All right. I mean, before the Canelo fight, he didn't fight any really great names up to that point. So we can skip all that. All right. So I remember doing a breakdown then. Liam Williams was good. Liam Williams was undefeated at that time. I actually think Liam Williams won and edged the rematch though. You know what I'm saying? I think he edged the rematch. Jaime Munguia was a good win. I mean, good. I mean, it was a loss, but it was a good performance for Leah. All right. Um, Robert Garcia, he beat Sam Egginton, Magomed Kurbanov, Anthony Fowler, Jesse. Yeah, this is by far his best win. By far, not even close. Boxer fan says, "Oh, that boxer fans. Sorry about missed your super chat." He says, "A boxing fan says, has WBO asked Taylor for proof like they did Charlo?" Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you know what it is? The news came out yesterday while there were a lot of stuff going on. So I don't think people are pressing it like that. And you know what? And I read the report and I noticed that Taylor and Catterall was at the fight yesterday and they had like an exchange because they were both sitting ringside. And they didn't even ask Josh any questions about his injury. I seen one in between one of the rounds. They asked Josh, not in this fight, but one of the maybe the pre-card fights, and they didn't ask him about the injury. At least not in the one that I saw. All right, so I really don't know what's going on with that. All right, but thank you again, boxing fan times four. Charles says, Wade, what do you think the percentage is if you bet the guy with the bigger legs and arse to win? Pause. Well, I can't answer that, bro. That question sounds crazy. I can't answer that question, bro. I don't even know what you mean right now. That's crazy. Um, that's crazy, bro. um, uh, Charles says, I try to see him mirror muscle guys getting smashed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. I think guys that are really muscular, um, just are real stiff normally. You know, I mean, that's what everybody said about AJ. You know, Dolomite says Karma got Eubank back on how he ran counter Ben name in the mud after counter Ben name was cleared just for Eubank to get KO. Uh, that's not karma, really. You know, I think what Eubank and Connor Ben had was them talking trash and selling the fight. When you test positive, right, for a banned substance and the fight is off, because they try to make the fight anyway. You got to remember, bro, Chris Eubank wanted the fight still. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the fight still. And remember, Chris Eubank agreed to his terms. That's not karma of him trashing Conor Ben. Everybody was trashing Conor Ben. It still is. You know? I mean, that I don't know what to say to that. I wouldn't call that karma, you know? Eddie Morales says, I don't know, Wave. I think Liam is on the juice. Mm, I'm not rolling with that. But if he is, he is. I don't know. Mad Dog says, Boxingwave, bunch of punch emojis. What's up, bro? Steven says, completely agreed. The Eubank from the Groves fight, even though Groves comfortably won the fight. In my opinion, if that more aggressive version of Eubank had fought Smith, I had to give him more of a chance. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Eubank, what does he do from here? Well, I do think he should stay at go to 168. Number two, Roy Jones. I'm not sure if I think he needs to use what he's learned from Roy. I don't think his style works. This Roy Jones style works for him. Okay. He needs to bring a little bit of what he used to do back. He does. You know, um, I think that's just how I feel, man. Um, there's no fight that I've seen of Chris Eubank Jr. since he's gone with Roy Jones. and I think he's been with Roy for the last 4 fights, right? 4 or 5 fights since the Matt Korobov fight. I don't think there has been a fight or performance where I felt like Eubank. I saw the fight and I said, "Yo, this is it. This is a perfect match." I felt that he's learned from Roy. He has become more slicker. Okay. He's learned how to control distance and box better. But I haven't felt like this is a guarantee like marriage. You know what I'm saying? Between a trainer and his fighter. I don't feel that way. I think Chris is quick and he has power and he could be explosive, but I don't think he moves like Roy or anything close to it. I think Roy's style is a better fit for more advanced boxers, you know, like guys with twitchier reflexes. It's weird to me. I know this sounds weird. I know this might sound a little weird. I think Roy works with Deontay Wilder. I know that might sound weird. You probably not going to agree with me. But Wilder and his speed, lighter Wilder, his speed and his power, I think Roy would work for him. I think Roy would work a little bit with let me see, maybe a little bit with Ennis. I know people are comparing the two now. I think it would work with Ennis. Um, I think it would work. I wouldn't say Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson is more fundamentally sound. You know, I think guys that are crazy reflexes and that's very explosive works. But I just don't think Chris Eubank has that. He doesn't move that way. He's kind of he's too stiff. He is naturally. He's too stiff. And you see it in a Saunders fight. You see it in a Groves fight. He's just too stiff. And I think Roy fixed some things and I think he's helped him. But I don't see those twitch-like reflexes that I see from Deontay Wilder. Say what you want about Wilder. Saying that he has one punch, that's cool. But you can't deny his reflexes. And he knows how to fight these boxers that are more technical. You know, I learned that in a Luis Ortiz fight. Luis Ortiz, who was a very good amateur, had all this experience, you know, was seasoned, southpaw fighter. Wilder just knew how to fight him. And some of the other fighters that had better technical ability. He knows how to fight them. Even with the Fury losses, he still was able to knock him down 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my feeling. I think Roy fits better with other fighters. I don't think he would fit well with Anthony Joshua. I don't. Because I just don't think Anthony Joshua can fight that way. And if he starts to do some of the things Roy did, he's going to pay for it. So I feel the same way about Anthony Joshua. You know, I know Roy offered to be a trainer, but AJ just can't do. He can't do what Roy do. And I wouldn't want to see him fighting anything like that. You know, think Roy does work for certain talents, but just nah, you know, nah. Mm, no way. Um, you know, so I don't know. I like, you know, AJ is going with Derek James. I mean, that's what we believe. I don't think it's been officially announced yet, but I would have liked Chris Eubank to go with Derrick James. I think Derrick James and his aggression works very well. It's been proven to work very well. You know, I don't think he's the most technical fighter, but I think coming forward, bringing power, you know, you can say the same about Crunk and Sugar Hill, you know, and what they did with Tyson Fury, you know, him being the bigger man. Well, I don't want to say Tyson Fury because I don't think Tyson Fury is the greatest example because Tyson Fury is just so much bigger than all of these guys. And he was already a skilled boxer. He was already considered to be the most skilled. So his size, all they had to do was push him to use his size and his power as an advantage. So yeah, I guess you gotta give them credit. But Derrick James and the way Chris Eubank used to fight, Derrick James would have improved in the way that Chris Eubank used to fight. And Chris Eubank should be using this boxing that he's doing as something to put in his back pocket. It shouldn't be his main focus on every fight. This Roy Jones style shouldn't be his priority way of winning his fights. This style should be another style that you fight if you have to make an adjustment. If you guys get what I'm saying. Like Jamel Charlo could always go back to the way that he used to box and move laterally and work behind the jab. That's what he did against Castano in the rematch. He used a lot from what he learned from Derek, but he fought smarter and he worked behind the jab and he maintained distance. This is what I mean. And this is why I think Derrick James is a very, very good trainer, because you can see the differences in how they fought. Now, it wasn't good enough for Tony Harrison. I mean, yes, he did come back and not get the knockout, but he was still getting outboxed because Tony was just a better boxer. You get what I'm saying? But Eubank is going to need someone that's going to push him to be aggressive, but work behind the jab as you're doing it. Stop just lunging in and going to the body. He used to come in. This is all he did. He used to jump in and just go like this the whole time. Just hit you with uppercuts. If you go to the Saunders fight, that's all he was doing. Just being physical. Be physical, but bring a little boxing into the mix too. And I think he has that now that he's been with Roy. I just don't know if this team that they have is really great for him. This is my opinion. Let me read some of the comments, and I'm gonna drop a link too, just in case any of you guys want to join up today. But I'm not gonna be on for too long. But if you guys want to join up, share your thoughts, because I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say. I'm reading a lot. I know I'm gonna miss a lot of the comments you guys are gonna put up. It's been putting up, because I know I'm just bouncing around with Eubank here. All right, I'm trying to go back. What do you guys say? Lee says Connor wasn't cleared at all. Yeah, he hasn't been cleared yet. We're still waiting for that. He hasn't been cleared. Fidel says, I saw an interesting comment that claimed making Eubank into a back foot pot shot fighter took the fire out of him and his granite chin. Eubank has much more durable being aggressive. Exactly. This is a great comment. And this is what I'm trying to say here. Him fighting on his back foot like this, I think coming forward, even if he took some more shots from Liam Smith coming forward and being aggressive, he would have taken the shots better, because now he's on the defense. Now he's trying to rope-a-dope, and he's doing a lot that is a lot of unnecessary stuff in this fight. Charles says, who was the last tall, skinny leg guy to win a fight at a weight class above 147? Well, first guy I can think of is Sebastian Fundora from 154. I mean, he's been beating, he hasn't fought Charlo yet, but he's been going on a tear at 154. I mean, he's tall. I mean, he's way too skinny for the division, I mean, he's the best example of a tall, skinny leg guy. That guy says, yo, another live stream, baby. What's good? What's up? What's happening with you? I feel like they say he would tighten up his foot movements. Damien says, yeah, Roy with Ennis would be a better team. Well, see, the argument was, and I know I brought up Ennis, right? I brought up Ennis. But see, now with Ennis, we saw in this last fight that he had struggled coming forward and creating offense against a guy that moved so well. didn't really, you know what I'm saying? So maybe he needs someone to make some adjustments for him and focus a little bit more on the fundamentals, because the fundamentals of Ennis were lacking in that fight with Corinne. You know what I'm saying? Like the spinning around, him walking into the shots that he was walking into. Um, I think maybe Roy Jones could help in certain areas, but now that I think about it more, maybe he does need someone that's going to help him work on some of the technical skills, or some of the flaws that he have, from a technical, from the fundamentals. I mean, it seems like he got everything down packed except the fundamentals. And because of his reflexes, because of his athleticism, because of his power, his speed, his explosiveness, it's worked out for him. But in that Karen fight, yes, I do think a Virgil Ortiz Jr. would have fared well against Karen and stopped them if they were to fight, because Virgil is just better to me at coming forward and trapping his opponent, you know. Now we didn't see the fight, and I could be wrong, but guys that are a little bit more fundamentally sound. I think the first video I've ever did comparing Boots and Ortiz a couple years ago, when Ortiz was fighting the better fighters, I was leaning towards Ortiz because I like Ortiz more from a technical level. And even though Jaron Ennis looks so good, I felt that at that time, if his superior athleticism didn't work out for him, can he adjust to just boxing, like really boxing? Now I've changed since then because Jaron Ennis started fighting a little bit better. It was mainly the uh what's this guy named Sergey Lipin's performance that really made me see like, yo, this guy is really good. And the performances after that. But maybe he needs someone that's gonna show him certain things, like, from a that's not flashy, like a Shakur Stevenson, for example. Like Shakur Stevenson has those type of reflexes as well, but from fundamentals, his are on point. He does everything the right way. You know, I mean, they all make mistakes, but Shakur, from a technical level, is probably one of the most technical fighters out there, and especially from defense. Defensively, he's on another level. You know, he shows me a lot of things that I've seen in, uh Floyd Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy Floyd, but Floyd Money Mayweather, a seasoned Floyd. Not as good as Floyd, but he's good. He's up there compared to everybody else that's in the sport. Chance has a good potential comeback opponent for Eubanks would be LaRon Richards. Richards said a year ago he would fight Eubank at 164. Richards has some creed. Richards is a light puncher. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the rematch. All right. And the future of these two. There's a rematch clause, and we don't know if they're gonna really fight. We don't know what's gonna happen. What is Eubank going to do? In the one interview that I did see of him, he looked relaxed. I know he tweeted uh Liam Smith, saying it was a good win and giving him his credit and support. And he did an interview and he looked very relaxed. And even in Roy's interview, Roy said, like, he already made a choice. He's like, he made a joke about losing a fight. He said to Roy, oh, maybe 50% wasn't enough. Maybe next time around, I'll do 75, like jokingly saying, like, I think he's going to do the rematch because he was doing well before he got stopped. I think if he really does go into this fight 100%, he still could win. Even though the knockout was devastating, it's going to be a risky, rematch to go into. But I still think the Conor Ben fight can happen. I still think that the rematch is probably going to happen. You know, I think when he gets some time to really think about it, they're probably going to do a rematch. If they're not going to do a rematch, go to 168, you know, or maybe just if you're going to still do 160, do 160 for a rematch or do 160 for the Conor Ben fight, you know, but I think he kind of blew his chances of fighting a Triple G, you know. What I do think though, and I'm serious about this. This is an opportunity for Jaime Munguia because Jaime Munguia, and the way that he likes to Oscar like to choose his opponents, he likes to pick them when they look extremely vulnerable, like right now. So I could see Jaime Munguia taking a fight with Chris Eubank Jr., and that could be at 160 or 168. You know, I see Jaime Munguia. I mean, listen, they talking about Jaime Munguia fighting Dimitri Bivol. What is up with that, by the way? Let's just change topics for 1 second. What's up with in soccer? Soccer. I'm sorry, you left me a super chat. Thank you, bro. For your donation to the channel, man. Appreciate it. Always appreciate when you leave donations. What's up with Oscar and this Bivol thing? Has Dimitri Bivol gotten into Oscar's head? Because at some point, I'm gonna feel like Oscar is gonna come out of retirement to fight these guys. Why is Oscar feeding all of his Mexican fighters over to Bivol? You think, you know, and I know Canelo wasn't with him at the time, but for you to see Canelo lose to Bivol, your former fighter, you put Zerto in there, and now you're talking about putting Munguia in there? What? Are you crazy? What is the what is the deal with Oscar De La Hoya? Somebody answer me. What's up, Charles? Man, Charles, another get me back. Wait, Bivol versus Munguia. Yes, thank you for the donation. Yes, Bivol versus Munguia. Oscar De La Hoya said that. Yes. What is up with Oscar? So Munguia, who has not proven anything at 160 to me, you know, he beat Gabe Rosado. Cool. You beat Gabe. I get it. Cool. You know, you beat Saddam Ali. You know what I'm saying? Like, you beat some good fighters. But you gonna send them to Bivol? Nah. Nah, son. Nah. Bivol shouldn't even entertain that shit. I don't even know why Oscar said it. Maybe Oscar's just playing around. Maybe he's just trying to boost up something. I don't know. But Oscar seems to just have something with Bivol to me. You know, if Bivol keeps taking out these fighters, Oscar will probably come back with his new abs, his new purchased abs, and take the fight himself. I'm tired of seeing Oscar De La Hoya all over social media. By the way, Jesus Christ, this dude don't want to take a picture. This dude can't take a picture without his shirt on, bro. Oscar is going crazy with these ab pictures. Have you guys seen him? Every time you see Oscar De La Hoya, still got no shirt on. He's showing off those abs he brought, man. Crazy. Crazy. He's like a BBL chick, the way he's moving right now. Orgasmatron says Mexicans want redemption. Munguia will be fooled for Bivol, no cap. Absolutely. He'd be fooled for a lot of people up at 168 and 175. Munguia is good. Yo, I like Jaime Munguia because I don't want to come off like a hater. I like his fights. Seriously. I think we all do. But we just waiting for him to step up, you know? I see Munguia and Triple G really happening though. I think it's gonna happen at some point. I think Oscar is waiting for the very, very perfect opportunity with Munguia. Like, he wants everything to be perfect. He wants to be so sure that his fighter is gonna win. You know, voice of Furlong. Haha, thank you. I knew those abs were fake. Yeah, those abs. Come on, man. Yo, the abs look drawn. They look like, you know what I'm saying? And the rest of his body look normal. Like, he slimmed down. Of course, he's in shape. You know, but it's just he's getting a little too crazy with the pictures, man. I mean, I'm happy for Al. I mean, he's probably happy. He got the abs. I'm happy for him. He's confident. He's an older guy now. He's a Hall of Famer, so it's cool. I'm not hating on him, but damn, my man can't take one picture like with a shirt on no more. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Says smash the like button, people. Please, if you guys are here, let's get the likes up, man. Let's get the likes all the way up, please. If you haven't hit the thumbs up already, please do that for me if you can. So anyway, to finish this off, Chris Eubank Jr., I think he's going to take the rematch. I don't think the rematch is fine. Is bad. I yesterday when I saw the knockout, I was like, yo, no way he should be rematching this dude. But to be honest, he probably should take the rematch to redeem himself. Because if you just move on, if you just go on to move on, people are just going to remember you getting knocked out by Liam Smith, and you were the favorite to win. Excuse me. So I think he should take the rematch. All right. Roy Jones is one of my favorite fighters, and I do think that something needs to change. I do believe that. I'm not saying that he can't win the fight boxing the way he was boxing, but what I'm saying is Chris Eubank, we've seen him. We know that he has another side of him. We see how he used to fight, and we need him, that version of him, a little bit of that. He can't just fight on the back foot and pot shot all day. It's not enough. It's not going to be enough. So Charles asked me, Charles, thank you again for the donations today, bro. Charles says, wait, before you log off, who you got, Niners or Cowboys? Oh, man, I don't even care no more, man. My Giants got washed up again by Philly last night. I'm just tired of the Giants losing to Philly every year. And I'm also tired, too, of going to Philly and them beating down the Giants fans at the damn arena. We're not allowed to wear Giants apparel there. I mean, I've been to Philly games. You got to go there all safe. I'm sick and tired of Philly beating us every year. I mean, that's just how I feel about that. I'm tired of Philly. As far as this game though, I think the Niners are going to win. I think the Niners are going to win. And that's not me being a Cowboys hate or anything. I just think they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to pull it off today. But yeah, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I don't even want to talk about football, bro, because I'm tired of New York sport teams. Period. The Giants. And you know what? I'm not even like, I'm a New York sports fan. So Giants, Jets, I'm a Giant fan over the Jets. I'm a Yankee fan over the Mets. I'm a Knick fan over the Nets. I'm a Ranger fan over the Islanders. Right? I don't even watch hockey like that, but not anymore. Used to. I'm just tired of New York sports, bro. So I don't want to talk about it because I'm gonna. You think I'm a angry, disgruntled boxing fan? When it comes to New York sports, everything else, I'm even more angry. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I feel about that. Anyway, Eubank Jr., if he doesn't take the fight at this point, look for the money. If you don't take the rematch, look for the money. You could still make the Conor Ben fight. I don't think it should be at a catch weight. The last thing he needs, because now going to a Conor Ben fight now, after getting stopped like that, even if he is to beat Liam Smith in a rematch, there's a chance that he might not be the favorite anymore. Now for Liam Smith, if Liam is gonna, he welcomed the rematch already. If Liam doesn't take the rematch, he's gonna end up fighting Kell Brook. Kell Brook seems to be interested in the fight. I don't know if Kell would bring Liam down because Liam is not like a legit middleweight. Like this is his first middleweight fight, I believe. So, or at least at 160. So I think Kell Brook, if they are to get that fight going between Liam and Kell, I think Kell should try to push for the fight for being at 154. But if it's not like Kell Brook fighting Triple G. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's fighting a monster, but Kell Brook, again, and I said this yesterday, Kell Brook is not great with pressure. You go back in the days and see him fight Carson Jones in the first fight. You saw him fight Triple G. You seen him fight Errol Spence. Now Crawford didn't beat him with pressure, but he was a fading. He's been fading. Kell Brook can box really well. I think he could box better than both of those guys. But the problem is, and I'm talking about Liam Smith and Eubank, the problem is Kell Brook is smaller. He's smaller, he's older, and he doesn't do good with pressure. If Kell Brook is to fight Liam Smith, I'm leaning towards Liam Smith to win that fight at this stage. I know Kell beat Khan and everything. That was cool. That was a fight I wanted for many, many years. That fight was 10 years too late. But if he is to fight Liam Smith, I'm leaning towards Liam Smith. That's just my opinion, man. Kell, yeah, just like you said, Charles, Kell's punch resistance, not that great. Steven says, if an immediate rematch were to happen, I still favor Smith personally. Just think he has a clear blueprint on how to beat Eubank. Think Eubank would need to make some major adjustments. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, because one thing I said in the Williams fight, seeing the Liam Williams fight, and going for Smith, I knew the right hand was gonna be his money punch. I know he stopped him or hurt him bad with an uppercut, but the right hand is what started it off. And you seen him land a few amount of them right over the jab. That overhand right from Liam Smith has been his best punch. It's always been the way that he used to close the gap. Not much of a jabber, not much of a long range fighter, but he knows how to close the gap by throwing that right hand over the jab, and that's exactly what caught Eubank while he was in that corner. Eubank was in a bad spot. He got caught, and the flurry was just too much for him. Eubank, this is my problem with Eubank going into the rematch, being that he got caught and got stopped. Now you got to be fighting scared. So when we say Chris Eubank needs to go back to his old style, how do you go back to your old style when you just got knocked out? So you know what's going to happen? He's probably going to stick with Roy. He's going to fight more cautiously. All right. He's going to pot shot more. He's going to move more. He's going to jab more. He's going to stay out of range more and try to win a decision. Chris Eubank, mentally, can he go back to being that raw bully that he was? Can he do that coming off a knockout win? I don't think so. Because what was working for him in those first 3 rounds, they're going to think like, because Roy already said it. Roy said, yeah, we should do the rematch because he was doing everything well until he got caught. So with that mentality, I'm thinking they're going to go in this rematch and do the same shit. And just do it with more caution. Liam got all the confidence in the world right now. So he's going to go in this rematch trying to do the same thing. He's going to try to repeat it. Gabriel said, what excuse do you think Eubank will use for the loss? Which injury will he blame it on? Nah, Chris Eubank has already said. He's already said he caught him with a great shot, one of the best shots that you can land. And he didn't really make any excuses. He didn't say anything about the weight or anything like that. He just said that he got caught with a phenomenal shot. To be honest, for the most part, he was fair. For the most part, he was fair. I mean, he could also say other things, but for the most part, he was fair. To be honest, Ronan 7 says that's a young fighter style. Eubank is now 34. Yeah, it is. It is a young fighter style, but you gotta wait and see. I had Eubank winning 2-1 before the KO. The one Mr. Ham says my comment was removed. Okay, y'all blessed. I'm out. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see your comment. Oh no, I did see your comment. You said excellent breakdown, Boxingwave. I think Eubank should take it without Roy in his corner. Yeah, he might switch it up. And it doesn't mean that Roy is not a good coach. Roy is a great coach. It's just that Roy's style does not fit for all of these guys, and that's the point we were making earlier in this video. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Please, again, if you are new, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, smash that like button, please. Everyone that's here, hit the thumbs up on your way out. Thank you for all the donations today, all the comments. And I am gonna be heading to the UK. I'm out here. I'm out of here Wednesday, late Wednesday night. So I'll be out there Thursday morning. So I will do a breakdown for what's this guy? Anthony Yard and Arthur Better BF. I will do a breakdown. I wanted to do it this morning, but I gotta run out. So I will be doing a breakdown. Hopefully, I'll have it done by tomorrow evening. If not tomorrow evening, I'll have it done within the next couple of days. Right. I just haven't had enough time to do the proper amount of film study. Right. But it is upset season, and you know, it is upset season. And I'm looking for an upset this weekend too. All right. But yeah, I will be out there in the fight, and I'll make content when I'm out there. Hopefully the hotel Wi-Fi is good. I'm staying in a nice, I'm right in the center of London. I'm right down in the area. So I'll be out there for the weekend, and that's it. So hit me up. And I'll be back with the breakdown in the very next video. All right, I got you guys. Stay safe, everybody. See you in the next one. Peace.